Hello, and welcome to the Black Bridge Mindset Podcast, where culture, entrepreneurship, and business intersect to fuel inspiration. This podcast celebrates the power of diverse voices shaping the future of business. So whether you're building a business, breaking barriers, or just looking for some serious inspiration, you're in the right place. The Black Bridge Mindset Podcast is hosted by your three favorite best friends, Mike, Ken, and CJ. So now sit back, relax, and absorb the gems being dropped on you by today's special guest.
I got good news.
Yes.
Ken, I don't know if I've said anything to you, but so I partnered with some folks and I think we're going to buy a house in Atlanta next week near you.
Where in Atlanta?
Well, it's not Atlanta proper. It's like 45 minutes west of Atlanta. I forget the name of the city. Macomb? Is that a county or a city? Macomb?
Because I wouldn't know.
Macomb?
He's
Macomb.
laughing.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Probably
It's okay. But anyway,
Is it
I'm
Macon
45
by
minutes.
chance?
Oh, Macon.
Macon. Listen, I could buy the property there. I don't need to know the name of the city. Macon Bacon, got it. Macon.
We got it here.
Macon. Well, me and my partners just bought a house in Macon. I'll show you pictures and things of it. He's there today, and he walked the property, and we're pretty excited. We're going to close at the end of the month. So, yeah. So that's
is
my
that
good
in
news
place of
this
the
week.
one you said you saw here?
Say one more time.
Was that in addition to? Is that in place of the one you said you saw here? Or was that in addition?
The one that
to?
the one we saw in Columbus wasn't going to work out, so we nixed that one.
Mm.
But the one, so I'm pretty excited.
Okay.
I don't know.
Mm.
But yeah, we're gonna have our first rental property as a joint venture, together here in your neck of the woods. So when I come visit, I'm gonna have to go do a drive-by and check it out.
Yes. It'll be 6:00 in the morning, but we'll do
it. Oh, trust me, I don't want to be in traffic either. So whatever it is, and it's co-living, so I can't necessarily. I mean, I could go into the house anytime, but I can't necessarily I can't go into the rooms and stuff if they're rented. But so
it's currently rented already. You just buy
it
from
is.
someone.
There are 5 rooms to the house, and we can actually add one more room and another bathroom at some point. But each room is individually rented. Yep, it's a co-living situation.
It sounds like something you get into in New York or LA.
Yeah. I mean, those are pretty expensive places, but yeah. So that's my excitement for a week.
I'm trying to think if there's anything crazy going on. So Bruce was in town this past weekend. My friend from Miami, for those of you who don't know but are nosy, and this was one of the first weekends I was out from like Thursday to Sunday, and by Sunday at 3:00, I was like, I'm going home. Like I can't do it. Just cannot do it. That, and I will tell you, things are not cheap anymore. Just going out.
Where you made anymore? When have things ever been cheap in Atlanta?
Things were cheap in Atlanta. Whenever I first got here, yeah, things were cheap in Atlanta. Not anymore though. But it's it's so good.
Yeah, I tell people now when they ask me to go out on the weekend, I'm like, you get one night. You get Thursday, you get Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday. You don't get 2. You get 1.
Oh wow!
It takes me 2 or 3 days to recover.
Oh, I can recall the times where you called me old and wanted me to stay out.
Oh, I still will call you old. Now, if I'm around y'all,
that will still happen.
Exactly. If I'm around y'all, I can make it a couple of nights. But nowadays, I'm like, I'm not here to see anybody.
Like my grandmother used to tell us, just keep living.
That's the plan. Anyway.
Nothing really going on here except for, next weekend is Derby. And, before we were always playing softball on Sundays and Saturdays and with stuff going on. This is the first year that I'm actually going to a Derby party. So I'll get a little bit of Kentucky here in Ohio. Some friends of ours that we met late last year. One of them is actually from Louisville. So they're throwing a Derby party. So I get all jazzed up and go have some mid juleps next Saturday.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Those are the nastiest drinks.
Listen,
I'm not trying to get on.
I may
I'm
have
not
a
trying to get on
flask of something
stage,
else,
but
I'm not a big fan either, but I'm sure I can add to or take away from or something to make it palatable.
Let's get started. I'll let you go ahead and do the introduction.
Today, on the Black Bridge Mindset Podcast, we would love to welcome our guest, attorney Keith Lamar Jr., who is the founder and managing attorney of the law offices of Keith Lamar Jr. Keith received his BA in political science from Morehouse College and his JD from the Thurgood Marshall School of Law at Texas Southern University. He has handled over 1,000 criminal and civil matters and has worked as a deputy district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia. In that role, Keith was given the privilege to supervise the Communication Prosecution Division and was recognized as the Non-Complex Attorney of the Year, Fulton County Employee of the Year, and earned the Fulton County Public Service Award. He has served as a board member for the National District Attorney Association and served as a national president of the National Black Prosecutor Association. Keith also serves on the advisory board for the American University School of Public Affairs, where he is helping work on criminal justice reform and case management. Keith has consulted and spoken to countless audiences across the nation about the practice of law, criminal justice reform, motivation, and overcoming obstacles, and a host of other topics. Keith is a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Emerging 100, Atlanta Resource Fellows, American Bar Association, and the Gate City Bar Association. He takes pride in making sure that he makes a positive impact on everyone he encounters in life. Everybody put your hands together for my workout group partner, Mr. Keith Lamar, also known as the Shark.
Shark, appreciate it, man.
The Shark.
Of course. Welcome to the show.
Hey, man, it's an honor to be here.
Those accolades, I don't know if we're worthy.
Oh,
We're not.
just hanging out.
Trust
I know. I told them to
Macomb, man. I gotta go down to Macomb, man.
I literally told them I read your bio and I was like, man, I'm going to have to think of some big words to use during this interview. We'll start with Macomb.
Seriously, I was born down there in Macon, down in Macomb.
Oh yeah, nice.
There's over there.
Well, I'm doing the speed round later, and number one was going to be Macon or Macomb, but I think we beat that one to death. So I'm going to scratch that one off the list.
Wait, I thought that was
Well, nice. Well, I'm excited to hear about your story and your journey and everything else. So the thing that I always ask at the beginning is just let us know, what makes Keith tick, the Shark tick, and what made you want to become an attorney?
All right. Well, when I was in college, I wasn't really sure what I really wanted to do. I know I wanted to make some money. I saw people driving around in nice cars. I'm like, man, I would like to have a nice car one day, especially coming from Macomb. And so I was like, this is what I need to do, man. So I would go to a law school fair, and I took the LSAT. But my score wasn't that great. And so I was thinking about, taking a skip year. But then the dean of the school was like, hey, man, I think your score is okay. What's your GPA? And I told him. He's like, man, why don't you just apply? And so I was like, okay, then why not? And then boom, I got accepted to Thurgood. And probably the best decision I ever made in my life. Changed the whole way of thinking as far as once I started. I don't even remember what I was learning beforehand, man. It's that much going on in law school. And but great people, great experience, and love Houston. That's my second home. So I had a great time out there. But then came on back and I started working at the DA's office, man. So never thought I'd be a DA, but I graduated law school in 2010, and the job market was pretty bad. So not sure if everybody remembers that, but 08, 09, it was a slide. And so graduating 2010, it was like, okay, y'all got any money to pay anybody? Or everybody will wait. But I did that, man. And so when I got into it, I actually started to enjoy my job. I started to look at it and see where there's things that needed to change in the systems. So that's why I did the community prosecution. I looked at it where it's like, what can we do to actually change it to make it a better community for us? And it was working. So I was doing that for a couple of years. I got promoted pretty quickly, enjoyed it. But I felt like I wanted to do something bigger. And so I remember one time I used to talk to these kids, and this one guy, little kid, was like, man, you keep talking about college, man, who gonna pay for it? And I kind of stumped me because I was like, it ain't gonna be me. I'm a government employee. What y'all talking about? I just say you need to go. I thought to myself, I'm like, man, no, next time a little kid asked me that, man, I want to be in a position to be like, I can if you do this. And so I decided, that's like, what, I'm opening up this firm. Culture for service, service for humanity is kind of like the little theme behind it, man. And so basically what I do with this firm is every time we have a really big case or something really big, I give back to the community. And so that's the whole goal for doing the firm, man. I wanted to be able to do something big, leave like a legacy. I've always had a lot of interns. So we got 2-3 interns right now that are doing really well, try to get them in law school. And my main goal is, man, just to inspire. Like I said, it's a blessing to do this. I never thought I'd be able to own my own firm, but now I'm out here doing it. And it was a leap of faith to start. I tell you that, because my parents were like, why are you leaving the DA's office? You're a deputy district attorney. You're 30 years old. You're the national president. You gonna leave president? And like, look, man, I would tell everybody, but yeah, like I feel like I got to. It's just something inside of me said, you know what, you got to do something. You got to do something bigger. I wasn't gonna stay in that little space, and it's a big space, but I felt small. I want to do something different. I want to be me. I want to jump out there, and I don't want to go through all the red lines and doing this and doing that, man. Let's just do something big, do something great for somebody immediately. So if I got the money, they need some like computers or anything at the school, I ain't got to beg everybody in the county, hey, can y'all give me a penny? That's what they giving you. And I would say, nah, let's go get the schools right now. Let's go get the computers right now. So that's why I started the firm. It's going well. And man, I'm looking forward to the questions y'all have, man. But I think law school is definitely a change in my life and overcoming the fear. 'Cause it was fearful. I always wanted to do something, but overcoming the fear of saying, you know what, I'm finna just do this. And I jumped out, jumping out. And when you jump out that window, man, there's no looking back, man. So just know that if you prepare hard, you work hard, you do what you're supposed to do, you'll never fail out here.
So let's take a step back and let's talk about what you had mentioned earlier about your LSAT scores and you thinking that they weren't, really that great. Because I know sometimes a lot of people who are talking about starting their own business, starting, a new career, that kind of thing, it's small things that they kind of get caught up on. So tell the audience about what your mindset was, if you can talk about how the conversation with the dean kind of changed that and made you kind of push forward into, making that decision to go to apply to law school.
Well, I talk to a lot of kids now that still have that same fear I had, but it's like, oh man, I didn't score in the 160s. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I can't get into Harvard and Yale. So what? Right. Can you get into law school? Can you get into a good school? Have you done good in your regular curriculum, right? So if you have a decent GPA, you don't have to score 160, 170. That helps to get scholarships, yes. But if you can score a decent, about 140, 145, you can get in with a good GPA. And see, when I was talking to the dean was just like, man, look, you got a phenomenal GPA. You've been doing a lot of extracurricular things. You've been doing this, this, and this. I was in all kinds of different groups. And he was like, I think that's enough, man. So I would tell the people that are out here are concerned about their scores, because I see people taking it 2-3 times. I'm like, why are you taking it so many times? Okay, you taking it. That's what your score is. If you did your best, that's what your score is. Don't trip. You can get into a law school, and guess what? If you do really well your first year of law school, you get on scholarship then, or you can transfer to the school you want to go to. Why don't you just kill your first year, right? So sometimes you got to be, might have to ride the bench for a season. It's okay. It's okay. But you need to come out here and swing for the fences every single time, because I think that, if I didn't do that, if I didn't talk to him, who knows what I'd be doing today, but I can't even imagine it. So I'm just glad it gave me the courage to say, you know what, you can still go to law school, and I really enjoyed myself.
Would you consider that dean one of your mentors?
I don't know if I call him a mentor all the way. I would say he's probably a very big influence, because he had so many people that he was influencing at that time, being an intake and doing all that. But I would say that he definitely has a very big inspiration on my life. I wouldn't call him a mentor, but he knows, man, I love him to death. As far as like a mentor, I would say for me, mentors is more like my dad, maybe, because he's just there every day, right? You talking about somebody that's going, like, you really messing up on a daily basis. Maybe like, man, I just made a bad decision. Let me call somebody real quick. Hey, man, I just stepped to some, what? And let me fix that. But nah, man, great guy. I met also some great teachers there, great professors, and then some really close friends that I talk to on a daily basis from law school. So anybody that's listening that's in law school or thinking about going to law school, the people you meet in law school, man, those are your peers, man. Those are your colleagues for life. Like for life. Like these are the same people you're going to be calling. I've been out of law school now. How many years? Not even that old, guys, but I've been out of law school 15 years, 15, 16 years now. And I talk to these people all the time. It doesn't even feel like it's been that long. And then, you just look up and like, wait a minute, I got a question. Because you don't know the entire scope of the law, right? So if you got a real estate issue, you might have to call somebody else. You got a commercial issue, you got to call this person. So you want to have networks of people, and your network is starting in your law school. Then from there, join the different organizations like BALSA, Black Law Student Association, and get to know people in other law schools, man. Because guess what? When it's out here in this world, man, you got to go get it.
You hit on a couple of things that we try to talk about a lot whenever we have people on. That one is, imperfect action is what I always talk about, and you sort of hit on that by just taking the leap and going. It was shoot, why can't I think of his name? Steve Harvey, who made the famous video that said you just got to jump,
Yeah.
and as you jump, you're building your parachute on your way down. You may not know what you're doing. You may do it scared, but at least you took that leap, and before you hit the ground, you're gonna have it all figured out. So I think that's awesome that you took that leap and you realized that you didn't have it all figured out.
Definitely.
And to hear that you were scared is, I mean, that's real, right? Because a lot of people think like, oh, I'm gonna go into this profession, I need to know everything, and then as soon as they take 2 steps, they're like, oh, there's so much stuff I don't know that I'm gonna take 2 steps back and just not do it.
Oh yeah, and
But
that's easy to fall into that, man. As you missing that, because when I jumped out, I did a personal injury law firm, and so remember I was a DA. So you talking personal injury life, which is a different life than the DA life. Now, of course, I did some criminal defense to start, only because you got to eat. But the personal injury, I was like, you know what? That is how I'm going to change this game because it's way more lucrative. And so jumping out, like you said, is nervousness, but you gotta, I was like, you know what? I've done well so far. I'm gonna put up my 110% into it, and whatever happens, happens. And honestly, taking the leap that's the hardest thing. It's not even about keeping. It's like the leap, the first thing, and to get the engine going is gonna be your hardest thing once you start. If you can get out of that, you're great. Okay, because once you know you can do it once, guess what? You can do it again and again and again.
right, exactly.
But tell us about how you expanded the practice, right? You said that you started out with criminal defense, went into personal injury. Like, talk about what kind of the decision or the triggers were for you to expand your practice.
So I knew I wanted to do the personal injury. I wanted to make sure that I did the best job for people, though, because I'm really big on that. I want to make sure reputation. That's one thing I've always been on when I was a kid. So I want to make sure I had a good reputation. So only way to have a good reputation as a personal injury lawyer is to get big money for people, all right? Because they be like, he a good guy, but if he get me paid or not, right? And so I'm like, you know what? I got to do the right thing because these people want to get paid. So, talking to a lot of different attorneys that was already in the space, and they were very helpful, by the way. Telling me about what I need to do here. I remember I got my first case and I was like, okay, I got it. Somebody trust me. Cool. Okay. I immediately went to go talk to a different attorney and say, okay, what I need to do, man? All right. Because you got to make sure. I mean, my thing was I'm always trying to give them the best product. And my thing is, even if I don't get the most out of the case, I want them to get the most out of the case. So certain cases, if I don't know what it is, I'm definitely gonna go to the top tier person because I got a lesson to actually know some of these people. And I'm like, you finna get the most money possible. So even if I got to split it or not, my client will be the richest. And so that's what I was trying to go after, man. And so I wanted to make sure that when I changed over to the personal injury that I can do it and I can do it so well that if we build a real engine, it can run itself eventually as I scale up with different people. And that way, that's how you can really be a real change into the community. So hopefully, we're getting there. We crank it up right now. But man, if we do it right, we can take over and do a lot of things.
For those of you who don't know, the state of Georgia is probably one of the better places in the country to be if you are a personal injury attorney. And there are a lot of personal injury attorneys. And so the next time you guys come visit, you'll notice all the billboards whenever you come to and from the airport, right? You'll see them. So talk to people. Tell us what it is that you did to figure out what lane you're supposed to be in, because there are some very big national type personal injury firms here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So talk to the people about how you figured out where your niche is.
For me, it's funny, man. I got, real big dreams. I was like, man, I'm gonna be just as big as Morgan and Morgan and that bigger. All right. And how we gonna do that? I don't care if I got to knock on every single door to let them know I exist. I will do that because Morgan and Morgan might have $1 billion today, but hey, I'm a shark. Bro. We about to swim up on you real quick. You know what I mean? But really, that's how I did it, man. It was really just going back to where I'm from. Letting people know, hey, I'm Keith. I'm out here. I exist. Just hitting people up saying, hey, just give me a chance. You know anybody in an accident? Just give me a chance to do it. I guarantee you, I got you. And I just started with one client at a time. And so the very first client I got, I was like, great, let's do it. That person might refer somebody. Then I might get a friend to refer somebody. And I'm like, boom, let's do a good job every time. And then you look up after a year or two, it's like, okay, now it's consistent. Like, how is this working? And it's really about word of mouth and doing the right thing. That's my biggest thing for us to grow our firm right now is if you do right with one person, that can create 10 more people. But you got to do right with one person. Don't try to take advantage of that one person and say, oh, I'm going to squeeze this person for every penny. Man, no, you better stop it. You treat that person right because you never know where your next referral comes from. And even though I know we have billboards all over the world out here, but in all honesty, people talk. And I think if you have good reputation amongst people when they're talking about lawyers, that's how you get a good client. That's how you get people to say, you know what, I'm going to go with Keith versus, well, I seen this billboard. It's cool, but who is he? Right? Because if somebody tell you like, oh, I actually don't, I know this guy. He'll do right by you. I promise you, he'll tell you everything. He's transparent. If you can build that reputation and it keeps going and growing, that's how you become a long-lasting, big-time firm. So that's the goal over here.
How has your philosophy for your firm evolved over time? I know you wanted to be that personal injury attorney. You say that you go about using word of mouth to get your reputation out and gain your clients, but how has your business evolved over, the time that you've been open?
Well, having when it started out, it was just me in my little briefcase, and we're gonna do this thing to get in the office space, getting employees, and knowing how that's, when you're doing it yourself, you can go 100 miles an hour, you can change things up randomly. But when you have a team, you got to be consistent. I'm real big on that. I don't want them to be like, man, I don't know, he's gonna have a good or bad day today. It's like, no, I'm the same every day. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna do this. All right. And these are the clear set goals. And it's really, it seems like more work for me, right? Because it's like, hey, I want to make sure that I'm leading the right way. Because I really believe that, I don't want to just say, y'all do this, y'all do this. I'm showing you how to do it. You're seeing how I work. And hopefully, if you're paying attention, you can follow that lead, right? Where it's like, okay, this man doesn't mind working. He's not going to ask me to do something that he wouldn't do, right? And so I want to build a culture of like, hey, if you want to be great, let's be great. If you don't want to be great, that's on you. But I'm trying to be great, right? Because everybody don't want to be great, but me, I want to be great. And if you want to be great with me, then let's do these steps. And so I've had to learn how to make sure to talk to people the right way, make sure that I motivate them the right way too, right? Because everybody's motivated differently. So, some people might come in and you just got to say, what's up? Let's do it. And they're ready. Other people, they might be grumpy, but it's okay. They can still be motivated. They can still get the best out of them. So just learning how to talk to people, learning how to build up that way to make sure that they're still doing the same thing that I would do if I talked to a client, right? So I like to build a personal relationship with clients where they, know who they're talking to. So talking to my team and trying to say, hey, when you talk to them, ask them how their day was. Come on. Don't just say, hey, what's up? Oh, this is from the law office. You did that? Okay. Don't do that. Give them something, let them know you care a little bit, please. Right. But it starts with me talking to them. Right. So how do I talk to my team? How do I communicate with them? And so hopefully it's a trickle down effect. And so that's how I look at everything as I build the firm up as we grow, is if you do everything like you're supposed to and they say things trickle down, then we should have a really firm. So that's why I got to work hard now so that we have the right people there. They see the work ethic, and hopefully, man, things will go well into the future.
And you say you have a team now. So, you mentioned earlier it was just you and your briefcase.
Yeah.
When did you realize like, oh, I need help? Like, what was that trigger for you?
Oh,
because it seems like some people try to be solo CEOs, and you can't do that.
Nah, you can't do it. So I really I got like my first kind of good little settlement from a personal injury case, and I was like, okay, that's a pretty good money there, because beforehand, boom, little case here with a criminal, but I was like, whoa, what's okay? So I can sit down for a moment. Then I realized if I sit down now, I might mess up the momentum because I started to get a little bit more traction. So I was like, well, dang. I definitely want more of this money. Ain't no doubt about it. I know people gonna think about that, like, what's up with this? I'm like, I want the money, trust me. But I want to make sure that the product that I'm still giving is still the same, right? Because if I didn't hire any help, the people that would get service today, they'd be cheated out of a product. If I'm trying to be greedy and keep it all myself, you got to have a team, right? You got to have somebody to help you. And so for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to invest in this business. So whoever starts a business, whoever listening to this podcast, no matter what business it is, not just a law firm, but you got to invest in your business. So that's what I did. I was like, okay, I'm not going to go on a trip. I'm going to just save up this money to hire my first person. Boom, did that. Save up this money to hire the next 2 people. Boom, did that. All right, call them in. Okay, I'm taking a chance. Lord have mercy. Please don't blow my money, but we finna do this, y'all. All right. And so we do it. And so, but it's been a blessing, man. I've had great teams, great people that work with me into the end, man. People have been really good. And like I said, I keep a lot of interns, and those interns, man, they're brilliant. They're really smart kids. And they really just keep us on our toes, man. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't even realize that. So my thing is just learning, how to keep scaling up like that. Because when you grow, you hit a big case. I just got to keep investing to the business, invest into what made us get here, right? And not get too comfortable. Because at the end of the day, I said I want to be like Morgan & Morgan. I ain't nowhere near them right now. So we got to go ahead and keep going, man. We cranking and we're living, we're okay. But hey, if you want to be that guy that does something that's generational like that, you got to keep cranking it up and get a good team around you, because it won't be by myself. It has to be with a whole bunch of sharks. It won't be no solo pack.
Exactly. And just for any type of business, right? People have to, people have to understand, like, you can't wear all the hats. So by you hiring a team underneath you, or to work with you or underneath you, you're able to focus on the bigger ticket items while they're handling the day-to-day items. And this is rinse and repeat for any business that's out there.
Definitely, man. And you gotta have faith in your team for your entrepreneurs that are a little scared. All right. Cause I know when you out here doing your own thing, man, you're like, man, y'all been there mess my money. Cause that's how you're like, please don't mess it up. All right. But you have to trust your team. All right. So you gotta have that faith fall again, right? Because you had the faith to leave your job and do your own thing as an entrepreneur. Now you gotta have faith to have a team to do what you envision. All right. And so that's faith too. Cause it's like, hey, I'm saying this, I'm thinking about this. Are y'all gonna do this? And then when they do it, man, you got to praise them and let people know that you really appreciate them. So, as an entrepreneur, don't be stingy. If people doing that thing, they getting you some money, man, you better bonus your team up, okay? Because your team is everything. And I tell my team that. So we got big goals, and I'm like, man, we hit this number here, I'm gonna give it to you the same day, okay? You ain't got to worry about it. And you let people know that I'm really, I'm happy that y'all are here, and it's a blessing because you don't have to be here with me, but you're here. So let's do it together and let's be great. So that's all it's about.
Talk about how that motivates people, because I don't think this is something that we've talked about yet on the show, about incentivizing the people who are working for you and kind of what that impact is, right? Or what the impact could be for your business. So can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, man, I can even talk about it from how I left, right? So when I was at the DA's office, I enjoyed the job, but what are we doing to continue to make it fun for the people? What are we doing to continue to elevate? Is there an elevation? Is there a cap? And so when you have a business, especially if you're trying to grow your business, you have to do something where your team can see that there's a brighter future for them, the person, right? A lot of people are still stuck on, oh, it's my business, it's my this, my that. It ain't your nothing now. All right. You got a team. All right. And so you're organizing things. You're trying to make sure things work, but you want them to feel like it's their business. I would recommend it. Right. I want y'all to buy into the business too. Like, hey, man, this is part of you. Right. Because that's how bad I want it. I want you to want it the same way. And so therefore, what I do is I like to make sure that I tell them, like, hey, man, we get a case and let's say we close this much money this month or this much money this quarter. Well, guess what? If this is your case and you worked on that case, we're going to give you some money, man. Okay, because I can't do it without you, right? I can't read 1 million pages of medical records without somebody else helping me, can I? And so I think that's important. And I think about treating people like how I want to be treated. So I know it's a blessing to be an owner, but not everybody is an owner. And so I would want to work for somebody to say that would treat me the way I'm trying to treat these people, man. Where it's like, hey, if I'm doing this much work, should I get paid for it? Yes. If I'm making your company $1 billion like some of these other companies we know in the world, shouldn't I get paid a little bit more than $50,000 today? I mean, I did make y'all, $250 million last quarter. I mean, is it okay to ask for a $5,000 raise? And so my thing is, I want to be able to have that type of environment where we're doing something that big, where people work over here, they're going to see the money in their pocket, and they won't leave because it'll be a good environment. If they do leave, it's okay, but I wouldn't, right? And that's why I want to see it like that, where it's like, hey, if we're going to take care of you, then hey, it's a good business. But definitely do that, entrepreneurs. If y'all want to really grow your business the right way, treat your team right. All right. And the reason I call them a team, don't treat the people high. That's my team. That's my teammates. I can't do nothing without them. All right. And if you treat your team right, man, your business can grow. And if somebody's tripping on the team, you gotta be able to talk to them. You can't trip too. All right. So you gotta have a little maturity out here. Somebody might trip one day. It's okay. It's okay, man. People have trippy days. But if you're gonna be the leader you say you're gonna be, right, you gotta be able to handle a trippy day. You gotta be able to handle it. Because ain't nobody 100% perfect, man. Not even you, leader. You know what I mean? So make sure that you're able to understand that from all aspects. So when somebody's having a bad day, you don't push their button. You help them, guide them all the way through the process. You know what I mean?
Listen, I don't have a law degree, but when I get on, I mean, you handing out bonuses left, right, and sideways.
We gonna turn this thing.
I'll file some papers.
Right.
No, say excuse me, I am, I'm a graduate.
Mhm.
I'm about to graduate from, Ohio State Law School right now.
Okay.
I'm thinking about starting my own firm.
Mhm.
What would be your advice, one, for getting my firm off the ground? And then two, and how did you go about financing your firm in the very beginning? What would you tell someone just starting out what they should do? How should they go about
So
proceeding?
great question, man. So the first thing for the person that's just graduating, wait a couple years before you start your firm. Go work with somebody. Go learn how to practice law, please. Because going to law school, yes, you have a good memory, but you don't know what you're doing in that courtroom, and you don't know how to really practice this law. All right, it ain't black and white. I can promise y'all that. This thing is not. Oh well, the book says if I say this, I should win. Judge, I just said that. You gonna lose every day. All right, so you're going out. Learn how to practice law. Work with somebody, get a mentor for a few years. Okay. I know a lot of people jump out like, man, I ain't working for nobody. I can do this myself, which you can. Not saying you can't. But would I recommend it? No. And waiting a couple years, learning additional skills that nobody's gonna give you once you start your own business, I think you should do it. All right. As far as the funding goes, so I'm a madman. A lot of people are different than me. I will say that, but I just jumped out there, bro. I said, you know what? I'm finna do this and they ain't finna stop me. All right. And so I had my first criminal case. I think I charged them $5,000. I said, well, there goes the rent for the month. Boom, one case. All right, we in. And then I'm working that. Boom, we got another one going. Boom, we got another one going. Boom, we got another one going. Okay, cool. Oh, got a personal injury settlement. Okay, now we getting some money in here. So I was, like I said, I'm a little different. I want y'all to understand that. And I just went out there and I said, I ain't finna make this happen. Okay. Now, did I work at the DA's office? Did I have a retirement thing that I could have jumped into? Yes, and I was ready to do it. But I said, I'm gonna jump out here first and see if I could just make this money on my own and build this from scratch, literally. And that's what I did. I was like, we gotta save it. So I made the money on the case, have enough for to pay the rent and the bills, put it to the side, sit there and say, okay, can't do nothing else. Boom, get another case, do it again. I was out here saying real law for food. I would go to the courtroom. I said, yeah, y'all might go to jail. Y'all might want somebody to help you. It's on y'all. I found some clients that way. I was just like, I'll do it. But I got to pay me something. I mean, I'm here. Got anything? All right. Yeah. And I did that for a couple of times, man. But it's funny because some of those clients I met, we kept in contact and they gave me some of my personal injury cases, right? So you just never know where your cases are going to come from. But when you out here and you start your business, don't be afraid to get dirty, man. I was going to the courthouse and I'll sit. They be like, why is Keith over there sitting? Keith, you good? Like, I'm good, bro. Just waiting on a client to walk in. I know somebody about to walk in here. All right. I know some of y'all, you about to go to jail, my man. You really don't need no help. Hilarious. All right. We'll see. And so when I got to ride the jail, they were like, yeah, he okay. It's not to work out, but don't be ashamed to step outside the box, bro. Cause I was way outside. I was like, man, I got to get to this. My family was already judging. So I was like, nah, I'm finna show y'all. We finna go crazy. And you just got to believe me. You got to have a crazy belief too. So that's one thing I'll tell you as an entrepreneur, man. When other people are saying, hey, man, what's that about? You got to believe in your dream. All right. Cause they're going to question you. There's going to be days you might question yourself, but you better write a note down or something to get yourself back up. All right. Cause a dreamer can't stop dreaming. So you got to continue to dream. All right. And so
Nobody's gonna do it for you.
ain't nobody gonna do it. So it's like get up, and I'm like, okay, shoot, it's another day. I'm able to live because I'm like, and the pandemic has started to hit, and I was like, wow, nobody told me that was gonna start. I'm like, I'm supposed to be starting a business. What is this? So the world shut down. Oh, I see that the courts never did shut down. Thank goodness, and y'all boys kept on driving in Georgia. So I was like, okay, so ain't nobody gonna get off the road. All right, then great. Everybody gonna chill, but ain't nobody want to chill. So we still was living out here. And so I looked at it, man. I was like, man, this is a blessing. And we gonna do everything we can, man. But you gotta have some real tough faith, endurance, because you're gonna have some down days, you're gonna have some up days. Don't get too high on the up ones, don't get too down on the down ones, man. Just know that you're blessed to be able to do your own thing and wake up and set your own schedule. That's a blessing. So I take every day, man. It's a blessing every day I'm out here, dog. So I'm just happy to be on the show with y'all, right? This is cool. I ain't got to go and, sign off on a waiver with somebody saying, hey, man, can I talk to them? Nah, bro, I'm talk. And that's a blessing.
So this is just the way I think. So as you were telling that story and you said that, you're going into the courthouse and you say, hey, you need some help. You need some help. You need some help. How, let's say I got into some trouble. I walk in the courthouse. You come to me as a newbie and you're like, hey, you need some help. And my first thought is, I can't afford you.
Yeah.
So how would someone like me compensate you for representing me? Because you got to get paid.
I'm gonna get paid, but you'd be surprised, right? So this is how we do it, right? It depends on what kind of case. Now, I'm not gonna jump in here if you're a murdered person. Nah, I ain't gonna help you out, bro. No. But if you got, if you got some a marijuana, a DUI, you a common man crime. Now, if you're not here on no Rambo stuff, then nah, I can't really help you, brother. You tripping. But the marijuana charge, right? So it's like, man, what happened? You got this marijuana charge. I'm not gonna hit you up over the head. You have $500, dog. I'm gonna just help you out today. Why am I doing this for so cheap for you? Because first of all, I want you to tell people about me, and then understand that I want to do this personal injury. So guess what? I just helped you out. All right. Didn't charge you $500. Have a good day. And he was like, that's it. That's it. All right. Have a good day. And so I did that, man. But don't be afraid to go out there and do that kind of stuff randomly. I got a sponsorship with the money team about my second year into the firm. And how did that happen? I helped somebody that I didn't know was a part of the money team. That's helped them out, right? And I didn't even charge them at all. They was like, what's the fee? I was like, man, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Oh, get your car. I was like, all right. I like, this not normal, but here you go. And he hit me up and he was like, makes you fly out to Vegas and, I'm going to show you around. I want you to meet Floyd. I was like, man, I ain't really know this guy, So I was like, kind of skeptical, but I do like Vegas. I'm coming out there. But if you faking it, I don't care. I'm going to enjoy Vegas. That's all I was thinking to myself. When I got out there, that man was not faking it. He was legit. And I was like, oh my God. And so you just never know how things can happen in life, man. Because that's how I got that first sponsorship with the money team. They wore it in the fight, had the KL on the shorts. I was really excited. I was like, oh my God, my stuff is on their shorts. But, that happened just randomly because I just helped this guy out, right? And so, I think about stuff like that all the time because if you're able to do things like that for people, that's how you get blessings, man. You got to be a blessing to get a blessing, right? So you got to do something, right? Do something for somebody. You can't just sit back and say, the world ain't giving me nothing. What you giving the world? So, give something to the world. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll get something out of it.
Yeah, I had to think for a second when you said the money team. I'm thinking you're talking about somebody local in Atlanta. And then when you said Vegas, it hit me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. It was a blessing, man. Met the man, Floyd Mayweather.
That was a true blessing.
Yeah, out of nowhere. He was like, you the guy help my guy out? I was like, yeah, that was me. He's like, man, you ain't want nothing? I was like, no. He's like, he told me he ain't pay yet. I was like, and I didn't ask him to. Yeah. But that's how he was so cool about it. He's like, really? And so I just look at it, man, where you got to keep doing that stuff. Keep going forward. Do things with the right intention, right? So some people do things that might look right, but they ain't got the right intention. Do things with the right intention, especially as an entrepreneur, because all you have is just society, right? All your people around you. Y'all in my community, right? So you got to do things with the right intention because as you start tripping out here, being a bad person, that kind of spread. I promise you it do. All right. If people see you doing bad business, they be like, do not mess with that dude down there. All right. Bad business. So you got to make sure that you keep doing the right intention, dog, so that you can grow your business. It's real simple, but you got to grow your business.
Okay. I'm curious, and I know Ken touched on it a minute ago, and me visiting Atlanta as many times as I have noticed all of the billboards and the attorney billboards and the ads on the radio, and you're in an Uber, you hear ads for an attorney in Atlanta, probably every other commercial. With the market, I guess, in Atlanta being so saturated with
Yeah.
personal injury lawyers, what do you do and how do you stand apart from the rest? How do you, I know you market yourself by being, you know, a common man and doing good things for good people, but how do you just have to stand out above all of these other sharks that are out there?
Oh, so basically, man, I just wake up every day and I repeat what I know, right? So I just know that I want to be the best. I want to be I'm a fun guy, like to have fun. I know that when it's time to get serious, I'll get serious. But at the end of the day, I like laughing and joking. So I just be myself every day. I try to be the best version of myself every day. So I wake up and I'm like, man, what I'm feeling like doing today on Instagram. You know what? I'm gonna do this and just do it. And so for me, marketing is really about consistently doing what you got, how you got here. Consistently doing it though, not falling off. Talking to people when you're going out to a little club or something, let people know that this is what I do. I ain't gonna talk your ear off about it, but I do this. Yeah, all right. And just going out and doing stuff like this, for instance, right? This is, indirect marketing, man, coming out, talking to you all, let people know that I exist because some people might not know who I am. So it's like, all right, well, I exist, hit me up. And then when you talk to me on the phone, when you call the firm, it's going to be the same kind of energy. It's like, hey, you get hit. Oh my God. First of all, you okay? You good? But then you ain't good. Just go ahead and get you to the hospital. So you got to go in and have some fun with it. You got at the end of the day, man, you really just, I think for me, that keeps me going, how to motivate and how to keep marketing myself to get bigger and bigger is just understanding who I am, the person, and embracing, things that I think make me great. And just embracing who I am and showing the world unapologetically, like, hey, this is who I am, man. So I'm trying to get it for you all. I'm gonna give y'all my best, but I may tell some jokes along the way if you don't mind. And that's it. But no, we got to make sure, man, that at the end of the day, that we gonna do the right thing with the marketing. So, marketing, it changes every day. You got to just make sure that you just own it, man. And then I like TikTok and the different trends. So you see something that's cool, jump on it. But then it also is expensive for marketing. So my bills have gone up as you get bigger. So when you want to do those billboards, they're not free. They do cost, but it depends on what you want to do. Whether it's Google searching, whether it's Facebook, whether it's newspaper ads, whatever it is, you just got to make sure that you're targeted in, and it's kind of like fishing. Hopefully, somebody bite.
Talk about your community involvement. I'm piggybacking off of what CJ was talking about. Like, talk about your community involvement and how important that is to your business, right? Because I think that a lot of times, especially like new entrepreneurs or, folks who are just starting out don't realize how important that can be to helping the success of your business.
Oh man. So I think that honestly, me doing that at the DA's office, being a community prosecutor it's a very pivotal part because that's how people know who you are, right? So that's why people even, I feel a little bit more confident jumping out and doing my own business because it wasn't like I just jumping out and didn't nobody know who I was. It was like, well, I've been in the community for the last 8 years in the DA's office doing everything I can, changing as much as I can. So the community kind of supported me on the way out. I was very blessed and thankful for that. They was like, "You doing what?" I'm like, "I'm jumping out." They're like, "Okay, then how can we help you?" So, I think when you get into the community, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you've never put anything into your community, if they don't know who you are, you ain't never done anything for no children in your community, you don't want to go back to the school and talk to nobody. You don't want to do, no nice little marathon run or walk to help somebody out. If you don't want to do nothing for nobody, I don't recommend you become an entrepreneur, okay? Because you're going to be pissed at home, all right? Because they're going to be looking at you like, I can't believe this person want me to do what with them? Who are they? So you got to make sure that you do that. Get outside of yourself and enjoy these people, man, because at the end of the day, man, what makes the world beautiful, man, people, and getting a chance to see everybody, because everybody's very different. And so getting a chance to know these people, and that's what I used to enjoy as a DA. I was like, man, I'm getting to meet so many different people I never would have thought, like, whoa, okay, this is cool. Oh, they into that too. Okay, cool. So, just get a chance to know as many people as possible, be yourself, learn from these people, learn what you like, who you are. And at the end of the day, man, just treat people right. It's real simple, but people be tricky. Right, but it's so simple. Treat people right.
I'm just curious, and this is just a general question. What's something about being a lawyer or a firm owner that people often misunderstand? And you've been in this game long enough to have seen and done a lot.
So I think that, some people, I guess it's a stressful job, right? So I know that I like to go out. You see a lot of attorneys, they seem like they have a lot of money, or they're always happy, celebrating. It's a very stressful job with a lot of hours, right? But my thing is, I'm embracing those hours because those are my hours. I've decided to put these hours in. So that's how I'm able to go through it versus working somebody else's hours, if that makes sense, right? It's like I've decided I want to open up my business, and somebody wants me to work, and if I want to eat, then I'm gonna have to work these hours. Okay, there is no. I know the sign may say 9 to 5. I'm 24 hours a day out here because you're on my mind. Okay. And so I would say that people just need to understand that being a lawyer, it can be a stressful job. They do have different types of lawyers that are not as stressful, right? But it doesn't pay the same. Understand that. So if you want a job that's not going to be a little stressful, a little high intensity, then understand that you're going to make a little less. I ain't saying you're going to be broke, but you're going to make less. So don't trip, right? If you're saying, I hear a lot of young folks saying, oh, I need to make 150 coming out. I'm like, man, what are you smoking? The best tree ever. I get who making 150 coming out? Doing what? What you gonna do? Oh, they didn't change the scales? I didn't know. I didn't know they were doing that. I see people talking about this, and I'm like, calm down. If you come out, you have a job and you're successful and you're learning something, you will get to the bag, I promise you, right? But learn something on that journey. All right. Because you come out and you never heard, you might get success too early sometimes. People like, success too early, what does that mean? You have to be able to understand what's going on around you, be able to appreciate, all right? Because if you're making $100,000, that's a blessing. Don't look at it as like, man, I need to make more. That is a blessing. Big one. Wake up. You're a good one, right? And so you got to let these people know that Instagram has people thinking, oh, everybody's making all this and all that. It's not like that, okay? It's not like that. In reality, if you got a job and you're able to support yourself and you're able to do what you want to do on a daily basis, may not be stunting, but you're able to do what you want to do, you living a great life, all right? And so people have to, it's like you got to understand the like that. And so I look at it where as an entrepreneur, you got to, as a lawyer as well, you got to think, okay, this is a blessing that I'm able to go out here and charge these people this amount of money, but then what do I need to do? Be a good steward with it. So I need to put something to the side here. I need to do this so I can survive it. Because guess what? One day there might be somebody else that's like, oh man, I want to mess with the dolphin. Okay, that's messing up my little shark thing. I don't know why you call yourself a dolphin. But other people, you know what I'm saying? It's all, yeah, but you got to be on the journey. This is a roller coaster out here, the entrepreneur, man. So I'm all about it though, man. So I'm up for the thrills and the downs, man. But at the end of the day, I'm glad to be on the ride.
I was just curious about that because I know as a kid and as a young adult, I always thought, the lawyers, doctors, those are the big money jobs. And you automatically coming out 6 figures, 7 figures, regardless. But
that's what I thought too. I learned the hard way. I was like, oh, I'm about to be rich. I'm going to law school. When I came out of school, I was like, they gave me, I think I started off at the DA's office. I think they started off at 55,000, 58,000. I was like, and I'll take it. All right. And I'll take it.
That was the same thing for me coming out of college as an engineer. I got 50K. I was so excited. I was like, let's go.
Like, okay. Just give me a house. I'm here. I have arrived. You right? And so now, but now everybody's like, oh, I need this. So I started telling them, like, look, man, whatever you get, be humble with it, man. Be happy with it. You'll get to where you need to get to. Just make sure you put in the work. All right. And you can't really, especially as an entrepreneur, but anything you're doing out here, it ain't no shortcuts. I know everybody wants to say, oh man, it ain't no shortcuts. All right. You got to put in the work. All right. Even in talking about community work, you have to actually put in the work in the community. You can't go out there one day, take a picture, say, hey, I was that guy. Nobody know you. Yeah, you got a picture. Nobody know you. You need to cut it every day and really be a part of the community. All right. And then about the pictures, man, because like at the end of the day, what I've noticed is that if you're really out there, nobody need to even see no picture of you. They're going to know you. You know what I mean? And so that's how you know you're really in the community. It's like, are you doing this for a fake? Are you really just out here I'm going to take a picture real quick. Give me inside this car. Get this country town, that dude, right? Are you that guy? Where it's like, this country town is killing me. Or you going to go out there and really enjoy the country town, embrace it, and be a part of that city and actually make that city better. So that's my whole goal. And as a marketing standpoint, every time I'm out, every time as an entrepreneur in general, every time I step outside this house, you marketing yourself. Just remember that, entrepreneurs. I know y'all want to go to the store, flip flops, bonnet on, whatever it is y'all want to rock. Y'all better look on point every time.
Got the bonnet.
Every time.
Look, I need you to look at the camera and say that again slowly.
You gotta get those stuff together out here. Cause when you out, you want your face everywhere. Every time I see you, you selling your product. Just know that as an entrepreneur. So every time I see you, that's the product. You are the product. So if I see you in Publix and you look toe up, I'm like, that product must be toe up too. All right. Cause she looks horrible. All right. He looks horrible. You gotta fix that. All right. So you gotta make sure that every time you step outside, you put your best foot forward. And I ain't saying you got to put on all makeup and nothing, but just look presentable, right? Let people know you out here trying to get to it, that you're a business person. And that's what's on your mind, is business. So, just embrace and ride, man. I'm living it. And I think that anybody that's out here listening to our podcast, man, to your podcast, gotta live it. All right. Live the dream. But you gotta really live it though. Okay. Every dream ain't gonna just some sell. You got to really live it.
This has all been great. We definitely
Oh,
have
yeah.
to have you on again. Love your energy. Love the
Absolutely.
knowledge that you're giving everybody. And when I go visit the house I'm about to buy in Macomb, I will definitely make sure
Yeah.
that Ken
It's cool little
reaches
crowd
out
out there.
to you.
Cool little crowd.
Listen, I'm gonna need you to practice that name several times before you go.
I was like,
It's
You would not
like
be
one of my
down there
favorite foods.
embarrassing the Black Bridge mindset.
It's
oh, I
okay.
guess
It's
so.
all
I
right.
guess, mate. That's
I
funny.
know
I got a
y'all look
homegirl
all
down
crazy. Like what? I'm like, y'all live in
there
Atlanta.
called
Y'all should know Megan.
Wakanda.
Listen, all I heard was coon.
I'm like, where's I'm
Cocoon.
like the cool town?
That's
It
all I
might be
heard.
there. I'm like, it might be one. Let me think about it. Okay,
I
we
know
got
it's Georgia and
county
all,
that's
but come
Houston. They
on.
call it Houston County, but it's actually Houston. But they call it Houston
Mm.
County down here. So you know you're from here or not. You come down here like, yeah, I went down to Houston earlier. They're like, Houston? You talking about Houston? So you got to make sure you know your areas out here in Georgia. And when you said Columbus, I thought you were talking about Columbus, Georgia. That's why I was like, Columbus, okay, down the street.
Nah,
Nope.
a little bit further than that.
Nope. Yeah, there's Circle Town area, huh?
Way up north.
Hell yeah. But definitely, man. But it's a
Right.
pleasure, man. I'm glad you had me on the show.
Yeah,
thank
well,
you
we're not done
for
with you yet. We
joining
got
us.
2 more little things to do with
Yeah,
you.
do
So
it then.
the first thing we're gonna do is called a speed round, and
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you. I have 6 or 7 questions written down, but we'll see how many we get to, and the 1-minute timer that I'm about to put up here.
Oh, crap.
So what I'm
Timer up
gonna
here.
do. Yep, I got a timer for
Hey,
you.
we need to have one additional.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, don't think too much about it. It's just gonna be a quick, answer the first thing that comes to the top of your mind. All right.
All right.
So CJ teased us earlier with his sound machine, but I'm still the sound machine. This is what, episode like 9 or something like that. So here we go.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba. Get into the speed round. So I'm gonna
Just
ask
use your
you.
imagination.
Yep. And I could fix this, in editing and actually add that sound, but I like my sound better. So we're gonna stick with it.
Eagle sound.
I'm gonna do my sound. I'm gonna be me. So I'll
Mhm.
start the timer after I ask the first question, and then I'm just gonna go through them until we get to the end. If we still have time to answer the last couple, which I think we will, then we'll answer those. I'll ask those too. All right, we good? All right, here we go. First question: what's your favorite car?
Car. You said car?
Car. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Unfortunately,
your favorite car.
it's Tesla still. I know the man tripping. I get it. But the Tesla's kind of fine though. All right.
Yeah, I used to work for him, and he's crazy, but the cars are great. So he didn't make it.
Yeah.
We'll give the engineers the credit for that.
Yeah.
Well, this answers this question: EV or gas?
EV.
Free weights or cable?
Free weights.
Free weights. All right. You call yourself Shark. What's your favorite shark?
The great black shark. That's me.
All right. Amusement park or beach?
Beach.
All right. All expense paid trip. Where you heading?
All expenses paid. I'm probably gonna go all expenses paid. Oh Lord. Dubai.
Dubai. All right. After working out, where does Ken want to eat for lunch? Subway or KFC?
I'm gonna get Subway. I'm gonna be nice. Subway. You know, I know you like Popeyes more.
Hold on. I got one for you as well. Maxine Shaw or Annalise Keating?
Maxine Shaw more real life.
Okay.
I mean, I see so many people like Maxine Shaw on an everyday basis. This go real life.
Well, you killed that. So the last thing that we do is I ask everybody to do what we call the Wakanda peace pause, and it's just at some point I'm going to post these pictures of everybody doing it. It's our marketing that I haven't used
Okay.
for marketing yet. But what we're going to do is we're just going to do like the little Wakanda cross, little piece, and then you're just going to sit there for a minute and smile at the camera, and then that's it. And then I'm
That's
going to
it.
use it later. I'll take a screen grab of it, of us all doing the Wakanda peace pause.
Well, that's it. All right.
Easy
Tell me when you're
enough.
ready for it, man.
All right, just going to count to 3, and we're all going to do it. Ready? 1, 2. I saw CJ got a late start, so I had to hold it a little bit longer. We good.
All day. All day, man.
Yeah, but no, I appreciate you. Like I said, this has been great. I learned
Absolutely.
quite a bit, and you hit on some nuggets or some gems that people should use no matter what type of entrepreneur they're trying to be. So hopefully they were listening and they caught them. And if you didn't catch them, go watch it again or listen again wherever you're listening to this. So
All day.
An immense thank you for this. This is fantastic. This is great. Honestly, you were great.
Appreciate it, man. Oh, let me tell them where to find me at. So if you're on that Instagram, Simply Keith, like the orange juice. Really simple, bro. Simply Keith. All right. Keith. All right. That's my Instagram. There. If you get in an accident, theinjurysharks.com. I got a jingle coming one day for y'all. It'll be pretty funny. I can't think of it yet, but it's coming. All right. So we're going to have it out there, and y'all can replay this and let them know that I told y'all the jingle was going to be a hit. Okay. One of the most downloaded jingles. I promise you.
Well, you have to let us know when it's out there. I mean, I'll be following you.
Oh, y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know. We gonna start it out.
Okay.
I'm like, that jingle hit.
Reach out to Jamie Foxx. He can
Oh,
get you
yeah,
a
I need
jingle
that.
together.
It was, gee, Pierre need to come outside. Shoot. Let's do it.
Y'all crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
I
Well,
echo
once
their
again,
sentiments. We appreciate you.
yeah, we appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Blackbridge Mindset Podcast. If today's conversation resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share, drop a comment, and leave a review. We're building bridges, one story, one mindset, one move at a time. Show our guests some love by checking out their socials too. Until next time, keep pushing, keep growing, and keep walking in your purpose.